Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, episode 72. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Sick again.
Boo.
So we went to Pro Tour. I got sick. And then I went to a wedding and got COVID. So,
Boo, COVID.
but third time's
COVID
the
sucks.
charm, right?
Yeah, I don't like that. No.
No,
No.
no.
Not on board with that. No. Don't
So,
catch COVID 3 times.
main topic this week is post Pro Tour exhaustion, both physically and in the market. So,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. Good thing though, because I know personally a bunch of players that are just hopping into the game now, and we're looking at prices a couple weeks ago, and we're like, "You are insane."
Yeah.
And now they're like, "Oh, wait, things have starting to come down and be what they were before,"
Yep.
which
A
is
little
no
bit more
surprise
reasonable.
because that's kind of just always what happens when there's a major Flesh and Blood event like a Pro Tour.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's a fun little dynamic that's worth keeping track of, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you are not at that competitive level yet and looking to uh, pay those prices because you're not competing at those levels, and so you can wait a
Yeah.
week or two, and it's not that big a deal. But housekeeping, the TCG Player Store is up and running well. We now have Flesh and Blood cards. I during my COVID times sorted a bunch of cards, so we should be getting even more Flesh and Bloods if you're just looking for commons, rares, some majestics, a couple legendaries. We have them up, and more will be coming. So
Yep. We got a whole bunch. They'll be continuing to stream into the store, and thank you for the purchases. We've already had several, so appreciate it, guys. If
absolutely.
you're out there listening as well as buying from us, or maybe you just bought it randomly from us.
Absolutely. And if you are not looking to buy cards and just want to support us or talk with us and hang out, we have a Patreon link down in the description. You can join the Discord for $1 and talk about all the things John and I talk about on the podcast before we talk about them on the podcast, because we're always talking in the Discord about the things we talk about on the podcast.
It's true. We like to discuss Flesh and Blood on a weekly, daily, and sometimes hourly basis.
Yeah. Depends on
I
the
was
season.
driving back from camping, and I was with a fellow shop goer, and that it just, of course, that's what we spent the time talking about.
Sure, of
It
course.
just he was skimming through his phone. He's like, "Oh wait, where's Road to National in America?" And then he's like digging stuff up, and then we started talking about Living Legends, and like it just keeps going. There's so much
Oh
to
yeah.
continue to jive on with that. I love it.
Absolutely. Cool.
Oh, I did play a game while camping.
You
I
played
brought
a
some Blitz decks.
Oh, of course you did.
Of course I did. That's exactly right.
Which ones
It
did you
was
play?
Riptide versus Azalea, and we both played both, so we switched. I lost both matches terribly. Got my butt handed to me. The first one, I'll lean in and say there's a little bit of luck related because I don't think I played a good game. Like I probably played poorly as well, but every time I tried to dominate, I ended up with like a non-arrow pull. So all the luck things went terribly wrong. The Ravenous, every
Yeah.
Ravenous
It
I
was a
pulled,
blue.
it was a blue. Like it was just so where there was luck, I had the worst luck. But I also did not play well. Like you can play around bad luck with that deck, I'm sure. I didn't. I just
Fair.
failed. Um, Riptide was fun into Azalea. It was an interesting dynamic. Not the best matchup, but it was fun. It's Blitz. Who cares?
Mhm.
So that was fun. Got to do that.
Cool.
Did you get to play any Flesh and Blood this week?
I did. I got some games in on Talishar. I've been messing around with Dagger Dory, which I think might be the solution to my warrior problem right now. Just because everyone knows Dawnblade, everyone knows the tips and tricks, and it does not really perform very well into the meta. It is just very average. So bringing back the element of Dory Surprise, because it's not a very popular deck. People do play it, but I think it does really well into what I'm seeing being played. It plays a lot of blues. Doesn't care too heavily on equipment. It's just very consistent. You don't have to worry about keeping your counters. It's just every turn. It has that Kasai play of block with 2 cards, play with 2 cards, present about 10 damage with 2 cards.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
And you still have the fridge for blocking when you're not playing wizard. You can play 3 AB into wizard. Sideboarding is very easy. Um, it uses 1 silver dagger and 1 quicksilver dagger and 1 Centauri saber,
Mhm.
and being able to basically swing 3 times
Right.
a lot of the times is pretty powerful. People forget
And
about that third swing.
yeah, I'm assuming it because you don't end up getting pluses for anything, right? So you're playing differently. It's
Yeah,
it's really just
you can play
about
a lot more
consistent.
defensively. Yep.
Yeah. It's consistent output of damage while being able to hold your own for incoming, right? That's kind of
Correct. Yeah,
the
so
game plan. That's cool.
you get to play your Valiant Dynamos and just get the stupid amount of value out of that. So like all those decks that just rely on that 1/4 attack
Yeah.
evading, it's not going to hit
Right.
because you just use 1 card because all your cards block for 3. You block with 1 card and your boots, and then you
Yeah.
get your boots back the next turn because you swung twice.
Yeah. It's
So
cool. It's
yeah,
very cool.
it's I I'm always drawn towards consistent tempo decks, and this is very much that,
That makes
which
sense.
is a
That's
lot of
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, I've never realized that about you, but when you said that, I'm like, actually, that checks out all the way back to like Red Go Burr,
Yeah,
Tommy Magic. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's exactly what they do. Yeah, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Just gaining. How can I gain more value this turn than my opponent?
Yeah,
And
cool.
sometimes I don't block and I just take the damage, but then I present like 20
A
something
lot.
damage back.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, you make that trade off where it matters.
it's one of those things where it's not, oh, they blocked properly. I only presented about half the damage I could have if I could have presented 1 or 2 more damage in that attack. It's okay, Blade Runner is a card. You block the first one, but now I still have go again and have 2 more swings or 1 more swing. And the next one's coming in for even bigger. And maybe my attack reaction goes off on that one.
Right. Crazy.
Definitely doesn't play as many attack reactions, but is still, I don't know. There's something to it. There are definitely whiff hands, and it plays a lot more attack actions.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not just all the daggers and swords, huh?
No, 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 no. It plays E Strike, it plays Command and Conquer, it plays Snatch, it plays um, Cox Commotion,
Coax a commotion.
Coax Commotion. Yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
It's neat. It's different.
Yeah, different is
I have
good.
not built it physically yet, but
Yeah, I'm
as
at that stage. I think I'm in love with Azalea.
uh
I have tried a couple different decks and I like the way it plays. It's challenging, difficult, fun, weird, it takes a lot of forethought that I don't quite have, so I feel like I'm stretching myself to do it well.
mhm,
Um and I grabbed a few pieces, right? Like things that you're definitely just gonna need. And I started getting there, but I don't have it physically built yet. So at least for the first CC, since coming back, I'll probably be playing Azuri. And Azuri's fine.
mhm.
I have a hard time deciding whether she's really good or she's just not good enough. You know what I mean? There's flexible builds. I think that's what makes her good is you're not really sure what you're up against. And that maybe will change as people figure out, optimal build paths and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but generally speaking, I mean, she blocks 6 and presents 6. That's what she does, like by
Yeah,
default.
it's very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's 12 total. That's a really low value. That's not good enough. You
You
know what I
gain the
mean?
value of
Like,
the on hit too.
of course, you're right. Yeah, there is situational, but yeah, that is I guess where you're eking out extra, but
Mhm.
it's not if they don't have an arsenal, not if, this, that, or the other. There's just so many things that it ends up being very minimal gain. And so I guess that's where the skill is. So a skilled pilot can probably just wreck, you know. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean
I
you have
just
cards to pull cards out of your opponent's hand.
not many, only a few.
You should probably play
Uh,
more of them then.
I mean, there is only a few.
What?
Like, what pulls cards out of hand?
Uh,
Eradicate? Or not
Eradicate,
eradicate, yeah, eradicate and
Leave No Witnesses,
leave no
and
witnesses.
Surgical, and
Surgical pulls out of hand? I thought that
yeah.
was oh, yeah, 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 that's right, that
Well, by
wait, which
pulling out a hand, I mean like they are encouraged to block it.
oh, oh, well, there's a ton of things that do that.
Yeah,
I thought you
exactly.
meant, like, also had hand disruption as an on-hit effect.
Surgical, yeah. Surgical is the
Yeah,
only one
yeah,
that does.
surgical, yeah, I was like, there really isn't well,
Yeah.
eradicate does too, right? Doesn't
No.
it? Oh, no, no, it's off deck, right? It's
Yep.
number of
Yep.
damage off deck, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so there is some hybrid version in there that's not all the red line, that's not all contracts, that's a
Yep.
mix of them that has an optimal play path, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure I'm gonna stick with her long enough to know what it is because, Azalea is calling to me.
Fair.
The good thing about Azalea is I think I'll have some time with her.
Oh yeah. 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 I mean,
Um,
she won the one big event, but then
no,
I don't see her
no, she
winning.
didn't. She has 0 LL points.
Oh, I thought she won
I
the
did
battle hardened.
too. I don't think it counted.
But it,
Either she didn't win, like she was second place and everyone was just surprised she was so good,
yeah.
or maybe the points haven't been updated yet. That's possible too. But we were talking about this on the drive back. And he's like, she's got 0. And he's laughing his ass off. He's like, Levia has more. Bolton has more. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, Azalea has 0 apparently. So and if not, then she has what 2, 5, whatever it is. Point is, I'll have plenty of time with her. I think.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to work on something that's like stretches my brain in a different way. And
She does have 8 in Blitz.
Blitz, yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Dominate, man, dominate is good in those faster formats. Just real good.
But yeah, no, this it didn't count for Living Legend points.
Yeah, I was wondering. I
Because
think it was just like a side tournament, right? It
it's as
wasn't
of
like a.
May 1st. It was a battle harden.
I thought battle hardens count.
You
No,
do.
they don't
I
count.
guess not.
Well,
Oh, it
did she
does. Yeah,
win it?
10 points.
Did she win it? She must not have won it then.
Thought so, but I guess not.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I think that was the one where the listing had numbers next to each of the heroes, and we thought that was like what place
Oh,
they
that's what it
got,
was.
but it
That's what it was.
wasn't. You
Yeah.
remember that? We
Yeah.
were very confused, and then like the next day, we're like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, so I think that's what happened there.
Gotcha.
Anyways, speaking of fatiguing out Azalea, we are fatigued. The market is fatigued. All the things are fatigued.
Yeah, you went camping. I have COVID. Still
Yeah,
have to get the yard done. It looks like a jungle out there.
good luck.
Thanks.
That can't be fun.
Oh, it's gonna
Doing
be
the
a
yard.
blast.
Yeah, doing the yard in the sun while you have COVID. That just sounds
I'm
terrible.
gonna throw on some short shorts so that my sun legs get some sun.
Tan a
Throw
little
on a
bit.
hat so my head doesn't burn.
Nice.
It's gonna be a beautiful sight out there in a couple hours. Um, yeah, but so I was able to yesterday get a ton of cards sorted. I didn't realize how unorganized because I thought I was pretty organized. And then I started going through it and everything, and I was like, I knew where everything was. There were no surprises, but
Well, that's good.
a lot of it wasn't as sorted as I thought it was. So so I'm resorting all commons and rares into the white BCW boxes by class. So starting with assassin, and the class is in alphabetical order. So you start with
Mhm,
assassin, then you have dynasty, and then you have outsiders because those are the only two. Then you have brute, welcome to wraith, crucible, everfest, or crucible, monarch, everfest, dynasty, and then uh, shadow brute. So like the talents go after if it's attached to a class.
mhm.
Then the talents themselves will be all the way at the end. I don't know if that's going to be a pain in the butt. I doubt it.
Yeah, the more I think about this, I'm like, I don't know if this is the right move here. Because what about the assassin ranger cards?
Yeah. So those will. I hadn't decided.
Yeah,
I probably will end up putting those with assassin. Um,
poor ranger. never gets any love.
Well, it's for my
I know,
or
I
I
know,
just
I know.
or I put hybrid classes at the end in alphabetical order before the
Yeah,
talents.
yeah, then it's like a multicolor magic card section,
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Yeah,
probably what I'll do.
yeah. I will never organize it that specifically, I don't think. I think I'll just stick with commonality and then chunk things together as much as possible. Generic, non-generic,
Yeah.
basically. Because generics you're gonna go to more often than the non.
Well,
And
right.
then when you're
Yeah.
doing class, like, you just go through a chunk
So
of
I
cards, go
ordered
through
I
a chunk of
ordered
cards.
I have a bunch of the 3-row ones. I
Mhm.
ordered a set of 5 of the 5-row ones, and that should
Ooh,
fit everything.
that's crazy. That's a lot of cards.
It is a lot of cards. There are a lot of cards in this house.
I believe it. I believe it.
Um, so I just think it will be a lot easier to because then when I'm building a warrior, I can just pull out the warrior box, that kind of an idea,
Mhm.
and then have all of my majestics still in one of those plastic ones by class as well. But I'm pretty sure all of those will fit in one because I don't think I have 3,200 majestics.
Um, yeah, not at this point, I would
No.
say.
So I think I should be good with one box for that for a while.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. It was something to do. And it ended up getting because I have a lot of uprising and outsiders that are still not and dynasty that are not sorted really. They're sorted by class, but they're not sorted by card.
Um, yeah, I will never index that way because 'cause I'll never wanna put things back that way. I did it before. I won't do it again.
Yeah.
It's not worth it for me. I did like when we were at, Pro Tour, one of the shops we were looking at had everything alphabetical.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting because that will be easier for the most part, although they seem to have it very specific. Because it wasn't like A to C, it was like, I don't know, whatever the Arcanite Skull Cap
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
whatever, Cornet
Yeah.
Peak. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was based on the card name, full name instead of
Which
just
I
like
think
the
makes sense for a store, but
well, this is a
also
store, Tommy. We run a store, you know?
this is my personal collection, John.
I understand, I understand, I
But it
understand.
also I think I would prefer it this way anyways, because I think people do order when they order, they'll order by class because they're building a deck.
That's probably true, yeah.
So you'll probably get a bunch of commons and rares ordered for the same class in the same set. And then
It's
you pull out the one box and they're all
yeah,
there.
I get you. It's a reasonable assumption. Let's
The
see.
problem is when now I will boon every supplemental set because the amount of shuffling around I'll have to do because every
Yeah,
class will get something.
yeah.
But
It's like it's a
I'm leaving
pain
enough
in the butt.
I'm leaving enough space in each box, so I should be good
Yeah.
for a couple supplementary sets because I did notice like Everfest and well, I opened a lot of it depends on how much I open, I guess. But if I open as much as I did Dynasty, I should be good for a couple supplementary sets before having to actually really move things around. Because there aren't actually that many cards per class. Because there's so many classes. Like when you open a couple cases, you don't end up with a ton for each class.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, with a little space, you should be fine for at least a couple of the sets.
Yeah. I basically left like a deck box length
A
in
whole deck
each
box of extra space? That's a lot.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then you'll be good for more than a couple
Yeah.
sets, I would assume. That would take a while. Because they're the full length ones, right?
They're
Like
the
1,000 card?
those no, 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 no.
Oh,
No.
okay.
The
I was like,
like
"That's 1,000 cards, man. What are you"
no, like what you would bring like that little green deck box that I bring for draft and stuff that has just like my sleeves.
Sure. Not really, but I can imagine.
Or like it's about the size of like a commander deck box that you get
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in a commander precon.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
like that, but laid on its side.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was misunderstanding what you were talking about then.
Yeah. No, not like 1,000
Yeah, I was like,
no.
that's a lot of space. You can go for a few sets with that one.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
yeah. So excited about that transition. It's going pretty smoothly. Um because I don't know. It was one of those things where the way I was setting up before, it was focused around the idea where I only really have one deck built at a time. But even with me only playing one deck at a time, I still end up having to build like two or three decks. I still have two or three decks that get built every once in a while just because like a friend is wanting to learn to play the game. So I build a deck.
Mhm.
They tell me what hero they're interested in. I build the deck and then we play. But then I
You just
have that
need
deck
like
sitting there.
15 command and conquers. It's fine.
It's not happening. I'm just going to replace them all with humbles. And that's what they're
That's
going to
fair.
be.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a good budget option, isn't
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
it?
And I have plenty of humbles because I opened a ton of outsiders. I don't know why I opened up so much outsiders.
Because we were hyped for the new set, Tommy, and that's what
Yeah, I know.
happens. Every time we say
I
we're gonna
know.
do good, and every time we open more than we want to.
It was like no, like specifically this one though, because I was just like,
I know, me
there's
too. I
none of
did
the
the
class.
same
You
thing.
were
I
interested in
know.
Missouri though.
I was, but I did it just because I was freaking wanting to rip packs, not because
Yeah,
of any
yeah,
reasonable
yeah,
or logical reason.
yeah, yeah.
Every time.
But
Every
now
time.
this next set, I probably will open up a decent amount because I am pretty excited about it and the potentials for Warrior. We'll have to see what Warrior gets in
Yeah,
it,
we
but
got you have to see what it is first. Speaking
yeah.
of that, do we want
Mm-hmm.
to talk about some of the market things? There's one thing
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up in the I think it was in the market update. I went over some cards, but one of them I want to bring attention to again, and this is not me pumping or dumping or anything. Like this is nuts. Spirit of Arena. We know Bolton's going to get something in this. We
Mm-hmm.
know it, right? He's a light warrior.
Mm-hmm.
How is this legendary $21? Were there just so many of them printed or something? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. If you know, leave it in the comments other than Bolton sucks, which I'm sure some people that's the reason they think it should be that low. But I mean, every hero has its day. And if you're gonna, we now know about Bologna, which is a
I mean,
light angel, not light illusionist angel, so he'll be able to use freaking angels.
yes.
Like, how is this not a hyped card yet? I don't
So
get it.
it already did get it. It did see a bump. It was $17.
And now it's 21. Big deal. Like it barely moved. That's compared to the other things we've seen go crazy.
The collectors noticed. The cold foil was
I noticed the
$27,
cold. Yeah, I noticed the
and
cold
now
foil
it's
did the U.
$60.
Yeah, yeah, it's moving up. So yeah, the collectors noticed, but that's not. That's my point. Is like the players haven't noticed, and I personally, I think that's where the big hype comes from, where the big price jumps happen, where people are like, oh, and they get nuts on it.
I think the
I
only
don't know.
reason that the players would jump and go nuts on it is if when he actually becomes like a big deal.
That's fair. I suppose that's
Like a
true,
lot
but
of
it's
people, a
still
lot of people,
crazy. It's still crazy. A
a lot of
$21 freaking legendary. That's a Luvian Constellus. Like that's a specialty piece of equipment.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like this is a hero's legendary.
yeah,
I don't know. I just don't. Maybe it's a terrible card. I don't play Bolton, so maybe it's like this actually kind of sucks.
and you're gonna need three of them in your deck.
No, it's legendary. You only get one. Oh, are you mocking my angel thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I made a mistake on that. You know what's funny about it? Because I was like, how the hell did I screw that up? I was like, it doesn't have legendary in the text because the freaking Marvel.
Yeah.
I always stare at the Marvel. I don't actually look at the card itself. I'm looking at the freaking Marvel,
Yep.
which it doesn't have that text. So
No, no.
that's why I assumed that because I like to look at the Marvels and I'm an idiot. Whatever.
It's fine.
I
I
thought it
had to
was
flip
kind
in
of
the one.
weird. I
I
was
had,
like, that's weird because usually it has the like this can only have one in it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That text. So that was good. That was a perfect jab. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well executed.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think you would need. I think a lot of players are in the mentality of I will get it when I need it,
Sure.
and they don't. And I don't think a lot of players are looking at Bolton.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Bolton has not been a favorite a lot.
Like even there's like the cult of the Azalea cult. There's the League of Levia. Like
Yep.
they're the diehards for the bad heroes. There is nothing for Bolton.
Yeah, I haven't
Bolton
heard
doesn't have that.
hashtag I love Bolton. If you're a Bolton diehard or you know someone that is like just a Bolton diehard, but I agree. I have not heard of the same sort of fandom for Bolton. You know,
Right. Now I have my rainbow, so I'm good playable wise. I don't feel like I need a cold foil version of this one.
sure, yeah, yeah,
Um, but it's one of those things where I could switch. I could see myself self switching to Bolton if Bolton does get a
got
bump and becomes the
got
new
interesting.
like
Yeah.
playable warrior.
So this is part of my why, part of the curiosity for me. Why not this? Because the other warrior stuff has been jumping. We've noted that before.
It's older though.
It's older, that's fair. I mean, that is a factor, but
Warrior
I
hasn't
mean,
been in a
part of
set.
it yeah, but part of it is explicitly because of Dusk Till Dawn. Like, it all started around the Dusk Till Dawn thing,
Yeah.
and who do you think's gonna get it? It's not gonna be Dory. Well, it might be Dory, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It might be Dory, but
Mm-hmm.
there's
We
also
already know
Bolton.
there's a Dory specialization.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I think that news came later after the bump, but yeah, I think maybe you're right, is if people just hyped for Dory.
I
You're
think it's
right.
just the class warrior in general. And
Yeah,
when
yeah,
people
yeah.
think class warrior in general, they don't
They
think light
think Dory.
warrior.
No, they don't think
They think
Bolton, and they
warrior
certainly don't think special legendary.
from a recent set that's under $20.
I
Like,
just I so here's the thing to the players out there.
sure.
If you do think this way, the way I'm discussing and think ahead, you can get your cards a hell of a lot cheaper because by the time you realize that the price is gonna have
Are
tripled
they
already.
cheap? But then, okay, devil's advocate, wouldn't it be cheaper just to not buy it because you didn't end up playing Bolton?
Um, I I guess. Yeah, I
And
mean,
then you just didn't have to spend the money.
okay. So you're just saying like, okay, yeah. I guess people don't really explore decks. They
No.
they just stick with their favorite.
Yes. Flesh
That's
and blood is,
unfortunate.
yeah. In Magic, people are constantly, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? But in Flesh and Blood, people have, like, if you want to be really good, you really need to, like, focus on a class. You need to spend, like, besides the pros who can put in as much, because it's all about how
Every
much
waking
time you can
moment.
put into it.
Sure.
And so, but for the average person, if you want to get good in Flesh and Blood, you really have to just commit to a class, because
I,
the amount of time that you have during the week to put in to learn this game, you don't have enough time to be a
I
master
just
of all
don't
these
think you're
different
gonna get
classes.
very good. Well, yeah, you're not gonna be master, but I don't think you're gonna get very good if you don't have exposure to multiple classes because you'll think too
Right, and
much
that's why
inside
you
one
go into
silo.
your armory.
Yeah, and try to find opponents that have
Uh-huh.
that play the class.
Or you
Yeah,
play
and
Talishar online.
yeah, it gets slapped around a lot.
Yeah. Now I don't see many Boltons on Talishar.
No, well, and I know Bolton isn't good right now, right? Like, I'm not saying
Correct.
this is a
Correct.
a playable card today. I'm saying we're about to get it, and everything that is Dust Till Dawn theoretically tied has pumped except this card.
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair, but you get my point. Like, a ton of the stuff is pumped, and this one didn't, which I thought was just freaking weird.
Because there's 47 listings. One person has 8 at $21.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I'm just surprised. All right,
And
what
it's
else is
also how many are
down in
actually
the market?
selling. One
What's
sold
that?
yesterday. A bunch sold on the 11th.
Oh, so they are slowly getting bought up, huh? Oh,
Slowly.
shoot. Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 sales on the 11th.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
maybe
it
I'm
is being
calling the
purchased.
next spike. Yeah, I was about to say, maybe it's starting and I didn't realize that it had started. I
Yeah.
didn't look at the sales history. I just saw the
Yeah.
price and was like, "Oh, a legendary that's $20 is that feels criminally low."
It's I mean,
The only other one that's, like, that low is the freaking Emperor, which is, like, only available in Blitz, you know what I mean? Like, there's reasons, right, why
mhm.
the Emperor. Nothing else is that low. Oh, no, I lied, Cornet Peak.
Yep. I was gonna say,
But
come on.
but again, that's I guess because that's yeah, 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 I guess it happens. I guess I'm not really sure why. Why is Cornet Peak so low? Beautiful art, ice is still in. I
Y-
guess Oldham doesn't use
Lexi's
it
not going to
probably.
play it.
Lexi doesn't play it? Okay. Yeah, because you don't wanna use a card, like, you need all your cards sort of thing.
You want New Horizon?
Oh, right, duh. Yeah. Yeah, of course you're not gonna play it. That would be foolish. Yeah.
So Icelander and Icelander's not really in the meta right now. I mean, you could say the same thing. Look at like Doomsday. That's a shadow legendary. Levia specialization.
It's
So
33 bucks.
exactly. But that's Monarch. That's much older.
It's not that much older. It's a highly printed set. I don't know. I'm not sure. I do not
But
give
it
age
did
provenance to Monarch yet. It's not
right.
there
No,
yet.
I know. But what you were saying before is everything in Monarch jumped. This didn't.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And this is also a single hero specialization legendary. Those are the two
That's
things
fair.
that they have in
They're side
common.
by side, yeah, in common. Yeah, yeah. That is fair. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess specializations just aren't really that valuable, are they?
And it's only like a $10 difference between the two.
Yeah. The other one, the chain one's 28, so it's
Yep.
only a few dollars difference.
Yep.
That
But
one is
Chain,
that
we
one
don't
is
even know if
terrible
he's
though.
coming back.
Well, and in that particular card, it's a bad
Yeah,
specialization.
Eclipse. Yeah.
From what I remember, everyone's like, "Don't play that. That's a terrible thing." Like, it will never actually go off. So, hashtag in the comments if you love Eclipse. Give me a hashtag Eclipse.
And I do like Emperor being so cheap just because he is a hero. And I was worried
Agreed.
about
I like
that
him being
being,
cheap. It's
yeah.
just like there's reasons.
$14
You know,
is cheap though. Yeah.
that's really cheap for a legendary. You're like, oh, that's like I don't know. But we have a few now. Quiver of Abyssal. That's cheap.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's about it. Point being, the whole market is cooling off right now post Pro Tour. We're
Yeah,
seeing it across the board. It's either stable and steady or cooling off a little bit, which I think is reasonable. It's good. It's a good time to pick up those things you've been curious about, I would say.
hmm. And if you're a new player, start looking, like, look at the new cards. See if one of the newer heroes interests you because those typically will be much cheaper
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is that true? Was that true for Zuri? I feel like that was pretty expensive because of like
because of Dynasty stuff. Yeah.
yeah, the surgical, the equipment is still kind of expensive, although the rainbow foil one is only $27 for the redback shroud. I don't even think
Yeah.
she uses that, honestly.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Tunic and then, but yeah,
This
so
the
Tunic is really still like the big, like,
it is. It's the thing.
yeah.
It is the thing.
And with the white
Uh,
border being over $200 now.
is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. This game is insane.
It's $210.
This game is insane.
212 for lightly played.
Now, here's a question. Would they reprint New Horizon
Mm-hmm.
in like a different art or like a full art or something? I know they can't reprint the cold foil, but could they give it like a full art treatment? Is
They
that
could do a
allowed?
Marvel treatment.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, why not?
It feels like a missed opportunity for that piece of art to not be in a full art treatment.
Maybe when we go back to Arya.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's speculation on the future situation, but it's one of those like this is a super expensive piece of equipment, you know, and I don't think that's going to go away. Um, I could be wrong, but I have a feeling there will always be someone trying to use some ranger with two slots, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, what is the next big thing? So you got your tunic. What's the next thing that's like expensive but also pretty useful?
Command and Conquer.
I was thinking on equipment side, but yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
I
fair.
don't think there's anything really else besides Tunic.
And then the
Generic.
fables that are just fables, that's part of the reason they're so expensive.
Oh, Crown of Province.
So here's a question for you on that one. Crown of Providence is pricey right now, but
Yes.
Arcanite Skullcap is dirt cheap these days
Right.
compared to where
Yeah,
it
we've
was.
had this discussion before.
Yeah, so it's like generic helms. Can you trust them? Can you believe
No,
them?
and it's again, it's one of those things where I think new players would do well to know that Arcanite Skullcap exists because if they go on Talishar, they look at decks, might think it doesn't even exist because they
Yeah,
don't see it.
absolutely.
Because
Yep.
you just see Crown of Providence, but in reality, the difference now you get the hand correction, so that's like Crown of Providence is a better helm.
It
It is
is. It
it
is.
is statistically just more advantageous for aggro decks and mid-range decks for but that the price difference into performance is not there between Skullcap and Providence.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. The the
So if
the
you are
difference
not
isn't that big. Yeah.
yeah, so if you are not looking to be cutting edge, you're just looking to play some games at your armory, Arcanite Skullcap will probably do you just fine. It will block 3 most games if you use it right, which is 1 more than Crown of Providence. You just don't get the hand correction, and it gets turned off when you have more health. But
Yeah, so you have to play around it a little bit, but it's not terrible. We all did it
no,
back in the day. That's
it
what everyone did.
yeah, it was a $280 card,
Yeah,
the
which is
rainbow foil version. Yeah.
nuts. Yeah. That does make me a little nervous. I think Crown's gonna come down.
Yeah,
At
as
some
soon
point,
as there's
someday.
another one, as soon
Yeah,
as there's another
someday.
one, yeah. Now, the
Um,
hand correction is pretty good, so I don't know
what you do without,
what
like,
you do.
power creeping like
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's fair.
But, I
Um,
mean, you could say the same thing about Arcanite Skullcap, but
so here's a surprise dip. I didn't see this one coming. Skullbone Cross Wrap.
oh, did it go back down?
It's 74, so it's not as low as it used to be,
It's not
but it
$15.
yeah, yeah, it's not over 100 like it was, right? Wasn't it like 115,
Uh-huh,
120, something like that?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's cooled off. I did not expect that to happen. I guess New Horizon is just that much better, you
It
know?
is, it is.
Um, it makes sense as a learning
Well,
Azalea player.
it's because people have found out Lexi's the Ranger, not Azalea.
Fair, but I actually see New Horizon on a lot of Azalea decks too.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that, but
I'm
I'm
just saying
saying
that's like a thing too. It's
what I
surprising.
was saying is you would not see Skullbone in a Lexi list, but you would see New Horizon in an Azalea list.
Oh, fair. Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
so everyone that was getting on the Azalea train may try and dump this because again, a lot of our market is dictated by players.
Yep.
So when a
Well,
player
especially
doesn't
what
need a
we're talking
card,
about.
they sell it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're looking at rainbow foils. We're not talking about the collectible side of this. This is
No,
all
no,
just
no, no.
player cards. All these
Yes.
prices are about whatever's the list price, which is always the lowest. So,
Yeah.
so another couple of classes. I personally like to buy cards when the class is boring, just from my collector standpoint.
Yeah,
Guess
we
what
talked about that
classes
last
are
time.
really boring right now?
Guardian,
Uh huh. What other one?
Illusion, no.
Brute.
Brute's pretty boring. Yeah.
Which is interesting because again, we'll probably get Levia support, in Shadow.
Yeah, maybe.
But
I
does
mean,
she
we're gonna get
use
brute
scab
cards.
skin leathers? I don't know that she
Yeah,
does. That she does?
yeah, it
Okay.
blocks too.
Oh, because it
Battle
block.
worn
I
too.
was like, she didn't do a lot of roll stuff though.
It's the armor value
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
because you get to block 3.
Well, that's if you think you might want to get into Levia in the new set. Has they're cheap right now. Although I would not be shocked if they introduce some shadow boots
Yeah,
in the new set. Like that wouldn't surprise me in the least.
yeah, we've talked about that too. Is how there's you can and a lot of people and it's again devil's advocate reason for not to just pick things up because they're cheap is because you may not play them. Now, if you're going for a whole set, yes, grab them while they're cheap.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah,
you're
this is more
just
for like, hey, I want to have other things when the time comes.
right, and
But
then
yeah,
they're the people that just get what they need and then sell what they don't need when they don't need it.
I'm offering solutions to those that complain that the prices for the cars they want are too high. And one of the
Sure,
ways is just collect everything while it's cheap. And then it won't be too expensive.
that is a way to do it.
Oh, it
But
is
then you end up
interesting
with a
though.
lot of cards that you never put on a table.
Well, you might not put them on a table, but guess what? Then the class pops for some reason and you can sell them and buy the shit you really want, which we've had friends do that. I know for a
Oh,
fact.
absolutely,
They're
absolutely.
like, I have this card and it just jumped in value, so I'm going to sell it. And now I have 10 cards for the class that I actually want to play,
Yeah, exactly.
or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So if any of these pop and you're in the right position for it, then there you go.
yeah.
But tectonic plating, $48.
Yep.
I don't see that one changing. Do you? I guess carrion husk for a shadow. Uh, oh no, that's is it shadow? It's shadow, right? So it can
Hmm.
be used by a shadow guardian if they have that mangle guy in this set.
Oh, gross.
Oh, I mean, I'm thinking that's happening, don't you? Do you not think so? At least in Blitz,
Hope
it's his time.
is
Like
it?
his art fits this so well.
I hope not. That's scary.
You're like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while. I was assuming he's coming out at least as a Blitz character
I
in
didn't
this
think.
set
I
because
didn't.
he's a Shadow Guardian. Like this, when else were you going to introduce him?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't. I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm pretty sure
I always
he's
assumed that he
coming.
was coming eventually, but
Yeah, again, I could be wrong. That's pure speculation, but that guy is so badass, and so many people have asked about him. You know what I mean? Like it's out there. People are like, "What is this Mangle dude? He's so cool," and he's in like 3 or 4 cards.
yeah,
So, he's clearly like a Shadow Guardian. So I think that would be cool. I hope they introduce him and he does something weird, Guardian weird,
yeah,
because he certainly doesn't look like a defensive Guardian. Let's just put it that way. That guy looks like he wrecks face.
yeah.
Tommy sounds sad. It's like I didn't want to think about Shadow Guardians. It hurts me.
No, no, no. It's just I've been on this warrior train, and then I've always had a soft spot for the Mingle Guardian,
Oh no, does it
and
make it?
it makes me want to play Guardian. So
Well, to be
that's my
fair,
thing.
if it follows the pattern of others, it'll probably just be a Blitz hero,
Yeah,
right? And then it'll be a few sets, and then they might release an adult or whatever. And because it's Shadow, they may take a long time for that,
yeah.
you know? So,
We shall see.
yeah, we shall. But yeah, so those are 2 that I'm like, next set, and they're both pretty useful equipment for those classes.
Yeah,
So,
but did you? Let me see.
what else?
There's something I was gonna look at.
Angels, old cold foils,
No,
Marvels, full arts.
one of those things.
Just listing off things now.
I haven't looked at you since you've been doing the market update. That's my one touch base for looking at sealed because I haven't really looked at sealed recently.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, you wanna talk about that? It's
I've
been
yeah,
cool, like, it cooled off like everything else. Well, let's be fair. 3 things had red, 1 had blue, and everything else was pretty much flat, like, didn't move, which was pretty interesting week considering how much, drama we had the past few weeks on prices.
yeah,
A lot of up, a lot of down, going back and forth sort of thing, and now it's just kinda like, not much is happening.
yeah. Here we are.
Chill. So yeah, I think crew is gonna be forced upward. It keeps tapping this 4,000 a box. This is first edition, 4,000 a case. I mean,
Interesting. They're only
price
six
points.
fifty a box.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's the cases are getting their premiums. They're like
Yeah.
sticking in now, which is good. It basically shows that the supply's running out because the cases become harder and harder to
Right.
get
Right.
people to let go of. Um, So yeah, but there's loose boxes floating around still. So it'll be a minute before those follow, I would assume. That's my guess.
It's only 17 listings.
This stuff is running out, man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is gonna pop through that ceiling. Um, yeah, it's exciting to see this. I like that. Monarch going bananas. It's calmed down since, but it went bananas twice. Well, I guess it was once was unlimited and once was the first edition.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna go bananas again the second they start revealing cards and their synergies.
Yeah. I mean, it's up to $600 a case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not messing around. It's not messing around.
Yeah. It's almost doubled
Oh,
since
yeah.
the beginning of the
Yeah, I
year.
mean, it's like, "Oh, look at that. Mon's back.
Yep.
Mon to 1K? Question mark?"
A case
Kind of, like, it might. Yeah.
for a case.
Yeah. Well, and then I guess the shops are preparing
Yeah.
for the event because that's the official event is Monarch Draft,
Yeah.
and currently, um Dusk Till Dawn is now listed for distributors and pre-order and stuff. So I think, as a shop, you see that and you're like, oh, I got to do my order of that, and then I should get the Mon stuff I need to do the event for the pre-release. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's adding some pressure to the market, which I think is brilliant. It's great.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You're the one that was like, that they're so genius.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, you're right. That is genius. I
It
didn't think
is.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to handle it. Make people excited about it, or
Yeah.
hopefully make people excited about it.
We'll see. I have drafted it. I enjoyed it, but I also like Monarch. I just have liked it the whole time. Um, a lot of people said it wasn't a very good draft experience though. So I've only done it once. So I have one opinion, and I pulled a majestic
I thought that was
what's the
sealed.
no, was that sealed?
Yeah, a Pro Tour.
Dang it! It was sealed. Well, it
Hmm.
may be. If you say it was sealed, I believe you. I
It
wouldn't
was sealed.
remember the difference. Well, then I've never drafted it, have I?
I don't
Smart.
think I have. I've been very adamantly against it.
Yeah, you have.
I
That's
just,
I know I haven't. I know I haven't done it with you, that's for
yeah,
sure.
I would probably just draft Bolton, but
Because Warrior.
as a warrior,
Tommy.
just not draft any late cards.
Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah, it's probably a pretty safe draft pick, right?
Yeah, because who's gonna
Most people
fight me
aren't gonna
on it?
go for it. Yeah, yeah. Who's gonna fight you for Bolton? Not
Yeah,
many people.
yeah, and I'm familiar with the warrior cards. I know
Yeah,
what's
you'll
up.
be able to make it work. Like, you'll be in an okay spot.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready
hmm
for the next set to come out. No, it's fine. I need some time to save up
I'm
money so
ready
I
for
can
a
buy
break.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready for applause. Or is it
Or you
June, July?
no, I think it's July it comes out. I think the pre-release is in June, like end of June or something, or 2 weeks, like maybe in the middle of June. I can't remember, but yeah, I think it's July is the official release date. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I want to say like the 14th.
Of July or June?
Uh, pulling it up in just a second.
I was gonna say we have the internet.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm looking. I'm on the thing.
Yeah, June 30th to the 2nd.
Yeah, July
July
7th
is
to
the
9th is
preview.
the
Uh-huh.
oh yeah. Yeah, July 7th to 9th
Pre-release. Yeah,
pre-release event. Yeah, so it's
14th
it's
is the
middle of July then for the actual release.
All right, that makes me feel better.
You got time.
We
You
got
got
time.
time. Yeah, that's good. I feel good about that too. Allows me to grab some of these things that have been slacking on from
Hmm.
the collectible side. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, give me
I
that
wonder how
warrior stuff.
people yeah, I wonder how people will react to the set in general, because there's a lot of bad feelings towards Monarch, and since
I
it's
don't think a
thematically
lot of
tied.
those players are still here.
You think they just left?
Yeah,
They never came back? I feel
yeah.
like that they couldn't have not come back. Why wouldn't they still be here?
No, the people that had those bad feelings, like there are people that have gotten over them. People that
Yeah,
does
I
it
was gonna
still
say the
affect them?
collectors are still buying like
No, what I'm
crazy
what I'm
more so than
saying is like
ever.
the people that never got over that monarch,
They just left.
they just left. But you're either if you were around that time, you either were pissed off and then no longer cared because the game is just good, or just were you just played the game because it's fun. Like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I don't think the people that were that soured on Monarch either didn't change their mind and are now fine because of the game overall, um, or
Well, here's a different way to frame it. I see what you're saying.
because it's still a new set. It's a different
Yeah, I
set.
was gonna say, how hyped are you for Dust Till Dawn? Because you pretty much hate Monarch and always have.
Yeah. So
You've been like, Prism sucks. I hate Monarch. Chain is bullshit.
yeah, and all valid, all valid, all
All
valid.
valid arguments. So, but I guess you are excited about Dust Till Dawn, right?
Less, more so than Outsiders,
Okay,
but I
interesting. Just because
think
it's supplemental.
because it's supplemental and I love Warrior stuff. Um, I don't think I'll buy as much as I did of Outsiders though.
You've said that every set.
Yeah,
You said that about Outsiders.
I know.
Did you buy less?
Yes,
A little bit.
one case less.
I knew it was gonna be like the minimum amount to declare it less.
A whole case less.
That's fine, that's fine, it's fine, it's fine. You did, you bought less.
Um, yeah, I think I might just do 2 cases of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to keep it minimal personally because I wanna do the shop. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and when you're doing personal collection stuff and sorting and cracking and all that stuff, it makes it harder to be motivated to get the shop inventory in order
And
and upline and da da da
yeah,
da
so
da.
that's the
Yeah.
other part of it as well, which I think will make it a lot easier to stick to it since we're going to be trying to get
Do
dust till
yeah,
dawn for the shop.
yeah. So,
Um, I think
speaking
it'll
of
just be a lot
shameless
easier.
plug,
Yeah.
we will have well, we're trying to get Dust Till Dawn for the shop.
Mhm.
So, I don't think it will be on release day, but we should be able to
No.
have it at the shop shortly after. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
feel free to buy from us.
Eventually. We'll let you
We're
know.
getting there.
We'll
One
let you know
step
when we
at a
get there.
time, one
Yeah.
step at a time. This would be
Absolutely.
cool to be, like, really early in. I mean, I don't feel bad being like Rudy. Rudy doesn't put stuff up on release date either. So
No.
I'm like, close enough. Like, as long as we're in there and people that wanna buy from us can buy from us, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Most people don't buy day 1 anyways.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
Cool.
yeah, I think that's all I have this week unless
I was
there's
gonna
anything
say,
you
is there
wanna bring up.
anything else? Nope, I don't have anything else. I'm good.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with us through the podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow for Fab Watch.
It's like, what?
It's like Baywatch, except instead of watching the Bay, we watch Fab.
You get Sand Scarabos. Oh my god, I died when you made that the title. I died. I was like, "What?" So good. All right. Until next time.
We'll
Have a
catch you
good
later.
one.